The United States has incomparable security, but that's not how it's perceived in high places. The gravest perceived threat to the United States is China. So what then is the threat of China? Well, the China threat is well described by distinguished international diplomat Paul Keating, former Prime Minister of Australia, right within reach of the dragon's claws. So I'll quote his words. The fact that somehow the rise of 20% of humanity from abject poverty into something approaching a modern state is illegitimate. That's the China threat. And more than that, by its mere presence, it's an affront to the United States. It's not that China presents a threat to the United States, something China has never articulated or delivered. Rather, its mere presence represents a challenge to United States preeminence. My own view is that's the essence of the China threat. Well, the main point of contention right now is what's called freedom of navigation in the South China Sea. That's how it's described. It's not accurate. More accurately, the conflict concerns military and intelligence operations in China's exclusive economic zone. The US holds that such operations are permissible in all such exclusive zones. China holds that they are not. India agrees with China's interpretation. It vigorously protested recent US military operations in its exclusive zone. Well, these exclusive zones were established by the 1982 Law of the Sea. The United States is the only maritime power that has not ratified the law. It asserts it will not violate it. The law, if you read it, bans the threat or use of force in the exclusive zones. It's borrowing the words of the UN Charter. The controversy has nothing at all to do with freedom of navigation. It's not threatened in the least. It has to do with whether military intelligence operations constitute a threat of force. Surely that's a clear case where diplomacy is in order, not highly provocative acts like sending in a big naval armada in a region of considerable tension with the threat of escalation, possibly without bounds. But it is crucial to establish US preeminence everywhere, even off the coasts of China, which, unlike the United States, we are led to believe faces no threats, surely not from the nuclear armed missiles in US military bases off China's coasts. These are among the 800 US military bases around the world. China has one in Djibouti. The nature of the China threat is further elaborated by Australia's preeminent military correspondent, Brian Toohey, and it's worth quoting in detail to help understand world affairs. So I'll quote him. China's nuclear weapons are so inferior that it couldn't be confident of deterring a retaliatory strike from the United States. Take the example of nuclear-powered ballistic missile-armed submarines. China has 4. Each can carry 12 missiles, each with a single warhead. According to the subs are easy to detect because they're very noisy. According to the US Office of Naval Intelligence, each is noisier than a Soviet submarine first launched in 1976. Russian and US subs are now much quieter. China is expected to acquire another 4 that are a little quieter by 2030. However, the missiles on the subs won't have the range to reach the continental United States. They would have to reach suitable locations in the Pacific Ocean. However, they are effectively bottled up inside the South China Sea. To escape, they have to pass through a series of checkpoints, choke points, where they could be easily sunk by US hunter-killer nuclear submarines. In contrast, the United States has 14 missile-armed subs, Ohio class. Each can launch 24 Trident missiles, each containing 8 independently targetable warheads able to reach anywhere on the globe. That means a single US submarine can destroy 192 cities, other targets anywhere on the globe, that's 1 submarine, compared to 12 for the Chinese submarine. But that's not good enough. The Ohio class is now being replaced by the bigger Columbia class. Well, to right this imbalance, the United States is now sending Australia advanced hunter-killer nuclear subs, which Australia will pay for, though they'll be incorporated in the US Naval Command. The sale of advanced nuclear subs abrogates a France-Australia agreement for sale of conventional subs. It's a serious blow to French industry. Washington did not take the trouble even to notify France. That instructs the European Union on its place in the US-run global order. TUI observes further that Australia's submission to the United States does not enhance its security, quite the contrary. And he observes further that the nuclear subs sale has no discernible strategic purpose. The subs will not be operable for over a decade. By that time, China will surely have expanded its military forces to deal with this new military threat. The sub-agreement does serve a purpose, however. It establishes more firmly that the United States intends to rule the world, even if that requires escalating the threat of war, possibly terminal war, in a highly volatile region, and of course, eschewing such sissified measures as diplomacy, not for tough guys like us. Well, these steps to escalate conflict take place against a background that's plain and stark. The United States inherited the mantle of global dominance from Britain, substantially extending its reach. China's a rising power, bound to play a major role in world affairs. The crises we face are international. Pandemics, destruction of the environment, no borders, nor does nuclear war. The United States and China will either cooperate in addressing these crises, or we are doomed.